spreading hate. Lips BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truce to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night. Fight the woke mob, cancel their crying. Truth on the mic while they keep lying. They wanna cancel, they wanna control, but we got the truth, we breaking the mold. Speak your mind, don't let them bind. Words cut through, sharper than a sword unkind. Senses just raw, no filter to stop. Voices rise up from the bottom to top. Feelings don't matter when the truth's laid bare. No nonsense, come at us if you dare. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night. Fight the woke mob, cancel their crying. Truth on the mic while they keep lying.
Hey, what happened to the transition? How's it going, John?
Good, buddy. How you doing? I love that intro. I just get into it so good. It's so awesome.
I don't know why our transition didn't work, but I just fixed it. Yeah, I'm doing a little work on the thumbnail for To The Point podcast, but we're kind of getting together to do a live today because there's so much going on. There's so much news.
Right.
We have a show coming up, our monthly show, The Conspiracy Club, coming up on Thursday night. So I wanted to promote that.
Yep.
You have a show tomorrow night, Tuesday in the 8 o'clock hour, right?
Yep.
Yep. So there won't be any To The Point podcast on Wednesday, but you can catch us on Thursday live from Filthy's for the Conspiracy Club,
Yep.
which we're working on some shirts for that too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. We're just, beginning of the year, everybody's still
Just coming out of
finding their way.
holiday funk.
Yeah. If you're watching on X or YouTube, please follow us on Rumble at To The Point Podcast. We've got a bunch of channels over there, but follow us definitely at To The Point and To The Point Podcast. It'll help with our growth on Rumble for sure. I see we have a few viewers on X, which is good. X is good too. Rumble has a better chance of paying any kind of, not even a bill, but Rumble is the avenue we are going to try to focus on along with some others. But give us a follow on Rumble, and if you can, give us a comment over there. So you might see us do a ad read from Rumble, but that's only if we hit a certain criteria with viewers. And I assure you, we're not reading anything we wouldn't buy or support ourselves. The money is not there. It's not like anybody's buying us off. But
No.
even with that, there's Dale or Jim in the comment section. Thanks, guys. You guys had a great show today on Two Guys and One Coup. They're live every Monday and Wednesday at 10:30 to 12 in the morning, and then again on Thursday at 4. I think they're still doing a Thursday show, which is awesome. It's Dale. Yep. So make sure you follow those guys. We're hoping to do some collaboration.
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to do that.
Maybe they should do a Thursday show with us and or somebody, and we can kind of cross promote or something like that. And then a shout out to Kim's Coffee Talk. She's early in the morning. She's like 6:30 to 8 in the morning, and she's high energy. It's a cool show to watch if you're into that in the morning. But besides all the shout outs, a lot of news. Obviously, Maduro taken into custody, which has kind of been it's been entertaining to say the least. And did you see the pictures of him, John?
Oh, yeah. I've seen the pictures and all that. Yeah.
This is kind of like the Saddam Hussein moment, except
Yeah.
it was done in like 45 minutes.
Exactly.
It takes longer for me to get my ass to work sometimes than it took them to get in and out of Venezuela.
Exactly. And that's why you see it like it's a psyop, because it's half quick. So it's all a big like theater. So it's build up, he's wearing the thing and he's got a different shirt on in the next picture. Next picture, he's giving the thumbs up. then the next video he's talking about Happy New Year, and God bless, and like it's all just theater to get people worked up, and then all of a sudden, all these protests pop up out of nowhere, with all these signs and all these fresh printed signs up, and release Maduro, we stand with
Yeah.
Venezuela. All of a sudden, they just pop up out of nowhere, just like it's kind of like they knew they were going to go in there and get them, and they knew it was all coming. This is all just a theater. It's a game. And so I think and I'll talk about this on the TGI Now podcast on tomorrow, but I think that this guy gave up everything. He gave up all the election fraudulent stuff. He gave up everything because if he didn't, they were going to kill him anyway because he had all the information on a lot of the deep state players. So if he didn't get pulled out of there, he would have ended up getting killed anyway. So I think it was the best thing to happen for him if he made a deal and gave up all that intel.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see that. I
Yeah.
can also see his ego kind of getting in the way of being reasonable. I don't think he had what it took to keep the country together to begin with. And
No.
I
Yeah.
I think he would have made off better if he would have just kept going the way he was right now, actually, with Iran and Russia. I mean, right now, all their defenses are Russian anti aircraft, it's
No.
Iranian drones, and I forget what that Chinese were contributing to their defense system. But obviously, in a couple of strikes, our guys took it out, and I like it. I like how they claim, like they threw an FBI guy and a DEA guy
Oh yeah.
on the Apache helicopter,
Oh
and
yeah.
we call this an arrest. Which I really don't. I mean, I don't have any problem with the legality. I don't think there is a problem with the legality. We've done worse
No.
without Congress's approval.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can get this to work. I don't think it's gonna, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the Rumble chat on screen also.
I got you. Yeah, no, I mean it's not like it's an illegal situation. It's something that I mean a lot of the people from Venezuela that are in this country and in that country are happy about it. So I mean, obviously there was something going on there. It was way corrupt all these years that they are happy that it's done. But I mean, we would only know if we lived there. I don't live there. I've never been there, so I don't know what it's like there. So I don't have any opinions on that part of it. I just think that they're happy that something's been done. Where nobody's ever done anything about it. So that's where I think that's
Yeah.
where the excitement comes from. Is like, wow, this actually happened. Like this guy's gone. Like we can actually have our resources back and like use our oil again and actually make our country rich. Because remember, all the currencies all around the world are all a lot less value than the dollar. So like the Vietnam dong and the Venezuelan money and all these Mexican, all that money's lower value than ours. So ours always goes farther in these countries, and there's a reason for that. They're not really third world countries; they've just been pillaged.
I don't know if that Rumble chat's working. Yeah, I think the map I saw the other day, I tried finding it today. It was a friend actually shared it on Facebook, and it showed like the temporary base for like Iran was setting up a temporary base on one of the islands controlled by Venezuela.
Oh yeah.
Russia has already had a
Mhm.
lot of operations going on in there, and
Oh yeah.
Chinese. I heard rumors that Chinese actually they tried taking credit for helping us, or some channels did,
Yeah.
or saying that
Yeah.
because they wanted to see what cards we were going to use. And I don't buy that for 1 minute, but
No, but everybody's had their hands in there in that country for
yeah,
a minute. That's really what it comes down to. They're the deep state's tentacles. Good, they go far and wide. They're everywhere. So there are most of these leaders that are put in these third world countries per se, so to say, is basically all been installed in there for a reason to pillage them and to take their resources. Vietnam's got all kinds of diamond mines and all these different resources that they can't even tap into to back their currency. So their currency is super cheap compared to ours.
yep,
It comes down to. So a currency reset probably needs to be on its way as well. If things get better for Venezuela and they start backing their money with oil and using their reserves to make their country stronger, their dollar will actually increase in value or be revaluated to where it'll be an even currency with other countries. That's what Trump talks about, an even playing field. We all need to be on an even playing field. Not all these countries are on an even playing field because of that reason.
All right, let's see if this will work. Yeah, and it's funny because we mentioned this the other day during the New Year's Eve special about the Monroe Doctrine and how
There you go.
it's used to help protect the Western Hemisphere. And
Exactly.
it's I mean, for as much heat as the United States gets for meddling in foreign affairs, I mean, it's been our foreign policy since the 1800s. We've been able to enforce it for the last 125 years or more, and I really have no problem. I mean, especially when these boats are trucking in fentanyl and all kinds of other stuff uh,
Yeah.
through the oceans. Rumble
Yeah.
keeps freezing as well and rewinding. It's weird. Yeah, you know what, Jim or Dale? I'm using Rumble Studio because that's what you have to do in conjunction with EV Mux. But Rumble's got to get it together.
It's not handling it. Yeah.
Well, it's handling it. It's just Rumble at 4:30 in the afternoon. But yeah, so I've got Trump's announcement here, and then I've got some other video I want to actually play.
All right.
Let's see if this.
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence.
This one is. There's better videos
in American history.
Not that I want to cut the president
off. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault.
That was the end.
And it was a.
Did it just okay? Here's Rubio, who I think definitely had. Every time he gets a chance, man, he shines really good. Let's go this over.
In the heart of Caracas, to bring.
Yet how they haven't figured this out, and now if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to understand that
this
is
not
a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences.
You can't see it?
No.
If he says he's serious about something, he means it.
It was there.
And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to understand that.
Don't know, now you know.
Just talks and does letters and press conferences, and if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know.
That's
because this is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences, and if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. This is a president of action. Like,
Rubio doesn't hold back when it comes to going on CNN or anything like that.
This is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to understand.
United States, why didn't you arrest them if you are taking out the narco-terrorist regime?
You're confused? I don't know why that's confusing to you.
They're still in power.
It's very simple. You're not going to go in and wrap up. But you can't go. You're going to go in and suck up 5 people. They're already complaining about this one operation. Imagine the howls we would have from everybody else if we actually had to go and stay there 4 days to capture 4 other people. We got the top priority. The number one person on the list was the guy who claimed to be the president of the country that he was not. and he was arrested along with his wife, who was also indicted. And that was a pretty sophisticated and frankly complicated operation.
It was.
It is not easy to land helicopters in the middle of the largest military base in the country. The guy lived on a military base. Land within 3 minutes, kick down his door, grab him, put him in handcuffs, read him his rights, put him in a helicopter, and leave the country without losing any American or any American assets. That's not an easy mission. And you're asking me, why didn't we do that in 5 other places at the same time? I mean, that's absurd. I do think this is one of the most, daring, complicated, sophisticated missions this country has carried out in a very long time. Tremendous credit to the U.S. military personnel who did it. It was unbelievable, and tremendous success. And today, an indicted drug trafficker who was not the legitimate president of Venezuela, who we don't recognize, the Biden administration didn't recognize, 60-something countries don't recognize, the European Union doesn't recognize, and many countries in Latin America don't recognize. He was a indicted drug trafficker. He was arrested. His wife was arrested, also
but the
indicted, and they are now
others who are also indicted are still
system of courts.
The others who are also indicted are still in place. So that's the point of my questioning there. But you talked about not being the legitimate
president. So you wanted
president.
us to land in 5 other military bases?
No, I'm asking why you chose that this was the limit of the military operation. But to your point that you just made, that that Maduro was not the legitimate president.
He was the guy who was claiming to be the president.
Right.
Confused.
Well, the opposition.
He was the top target.
Okay. I'm confused. Are they still wanted by the United States? Why didn't you arrest them if you are taking out the narco-terrorist regime?
You're confused?
I like how
I don't know why that's confusing to you.
They're still in.
You're confused? I don't know why my pause button's not working over there. Hey, Miss Leslie is in the chat, also known as Buckeye. You can see her on the chat all the time with Two Guys in One Coup. And she'll also be on a podcast tonight with the Whiskey Capitalist podcast. They're pretty cool. It's another variety type show that talks headlines and stuff like that. So thank you, Leslie, for dropping in, and Dale in the comment section. But the others, she's such a effing douchebag. Yes, she is. Yeah. And it's just, there's another one, but I don't know what, they can't get enough of Rubio.
I know.
I mean, he destroys them every time. Here's another one.
And bring him to justice. Why does the United States need to take over the Venezuelan oil industry?
Well, we don't need to.
Right away, the oil industry.
Let me go back up. We don't need Venezuela's oil. We have plenty of oil in the United States. What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries of the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil? Why does Russia need their oil? Why does Iran need their oil? They're not even in this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States.
Have specific oil companies?
We also want to see that oil and the proceeds from it. Hold on. We want to see the oil proceeds of that country benefit the people of Venezuela. Why have 8 million people left Venezuela? 8 million, the single largest mass migration probably in modern history, left Venezuela since 2014 because all the wealth of that country was stolen to the benefit of Maduro and his cronies in the regime, but not to the benefit of people of Venezuela. You know how destabilizing 8 million migrants is? The number one fear that Brazil has, that Colombia has, that all these countries in the region have about what's happening in Venezuela and our involvement is they're afraid of another mass migration event. That's what they fear. This is deeply destabilizing stuff. It's not going to continue to happen. They are not going to come from outside of our hemisphere, destabilize our region in our own backyard, and us have to pay the price for it. Not under President Trump.
If the purpose of the operation was to capture Maduro and bring him to justice.
Maybe it was not. Maybe it was later. The Monroe Doctrine stated that we are going to police the Western Hemisphere in the interest of the United States. And no one really took us serious. We couldn't really enforce it. But at the same time, empires were falling all around the world. And England was just fine with supporting us in the Monroe Doctrine because there's still the naval might in the oceans all over the world, but yet they weren't responsible for having to police these rogue yahoos down there in South America and all these other territories that were all of a sudden liberated, just like the rest of the freaking world. When France and England and Russia had to pull out, shit hits the fan and you leave a power vacuum, and then you end up with a Maduro.
Exactly.
And it's not happened. It's happened like within 100 years, I believe, or maybe it was just over 100 years ago after World War II or one, where Roosevelt was president, and he added the Roosevelt corollary where if another nation was inviting other countries into the hemisphere that were a threat to the United States, and or if they were going to default on their loans to other
Mhm.
nations, that the United States would have to step in and take care of it. Rather,
Right.
and this is because this has happened in Venezuela before. They went out crazy spending when they finally found their oil just after the World War, and they ran up, the dictator at the time was running up debt like he was a king, and these massive palaces and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
eventually, the Germans, the French, and Italians were coming to collect on that with
Mhm.
their blockade of naval ships, and America had to step in and say, and now, like we said, now we're facing Iranian bases and Russian bases and Chinese bases in Venezuela.
Exactly, and that's what you were saying. The Monroe Doctrine is huge, and that's again, when you go back to make America great again. I think that it all talks about the whole west like hemisphere of America. North America, South America, Canada, like all of that's all connected. So that's where it needs to stick and stay. If we're going to be stabilized, we need countries and places around us to be stable as well, and that's a big part of it. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah, so the UN Security Council was meeting. I don't really know what the hell came of that, and I don't think anybody really cares. But here's Rubio. I'm not even sure who he's with in this video, but I believe I want to upload that. Well, we don't have to because I've got other video. The Colombian president come out and did the same video, just like Maduro did,
Yeah,
threatening Trump.
it,
So
it sounded like he was calling Rubio to come get him too.
right. Well, here's Rubio. I don't know who he's standing next to, but I believe this is outside the United Nations. I'm not sure.
As well as a major source. And the reason why is the following. And I've seen a lot of this reporting, and it's fake reporting, and I'll tell you why. It says that somehow Venezuela is not involved in the drug trade because the UN says they're not involved in the UN, I don't care what the UN says. The UN doesn't know what they're talking about. Maduro is indicted by a grand jury in the Southern District of New York. That means the Southern District of New York presented the evidence to a grand jury, and a grand jury indicted him. And then a superseding indictment came out that was unsealed about a year and a half ago that specifically detailed Maduro's actions. So number one, let there be no doubt, Nicolas Maduro is an indicted
Year and a half ago.
drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice. No, you're wrong in your question. Number one, Venezuela is a major source, and the reason why is the following. And I've seen a lot of this reporting, and it's fake reporting, and I'll tell you why. It says that somehow Venezuela is not involved in
Yeah. So he goes on. Rubio doesn't hold back at all. Let me see if I've got the Colombian guy loaded yet. How do you feel about what Trump had said? Now we know what Trump says sometimes is just to provoke, a reaction, but he had said that he was going to that we're going to run Venezuela until the time is right, and he'll put Rubio, who's got 23 other jobs, and Hegseth in charge.
Yeah.
Again, I don't feel like we should be the world's police, but at the same time, if we're going to run it, we might as well run that shit and get paid for what's owed to us, and put it in the best interest of the United States. I'm not saying we have to appoint Rubio governor, but obviously make sure. I don't think we can just walk away from it right now. Obviously, there's going to be a power vacuum. There was a woman who was rightfully elected president
Yeah.
4 years ago or something like that, who the election was stolen from
There
by
you go.
Dominion voting machines.
Exactly.
That might get us off
And that's
YouTube, but
and that's exactly what a lot of this is all about. Is about the Dominion and the Smartmatic machines that have been placed all over the world, and especially in the United States, to help flip governor races, Senate races, Congress races, presidential races. All of those races have been manipulated by the Smartmatic machines. I mean, Sidney Powell came out with that information back in December and January of December 2020 and January 2021 when Biden stepped in they were using those machines out of the Dominican Republic, out of Venezuela. It's all connected. So you hit it on the head again, Mike. It's about the election integrity in our country and in the Western Hemisphere, like you said.
Yeah, and I don't think we can just ignore it either. Same when it was just as important when it came to Panama. The regional effects of one jerk off who thinks he's can control what is at his fingertips. Like it's a lot. Like the Panama Canal, Venezuelan oil.
Exactly.
Carter
gave up the Panama Canal for nothing. Now the China runs it. Remember, Trump was saying that during the 2024 election and when he got inaugurated. It was China took it over. Who owns the Panama Canal? China does. So why does China own something that's in our backyard that we actually helped build and then we gave it away? Carter gave it away on purpose. That was to give away more power.
I think it's partly because we left power vacuums and then walked away.
Exactly.
So these countries had to find the money somewhere, and in some cases they land lease these ports to the Chinese, and that's what gives them control over the canal. It's who owns the port at the one end. So that's where it can be.
A lot of those ports, there's trafficking too. There's drug trafficking, child trafficking, and all kinds of stuff goes on with those ports and in those shipping containers too. So it goes even deeper than that too. There's who controls those ports, who controls the canal that the shipping containers are coming through.
Here is the next guy to go. Let's see.
If you want, I don't accept invasions. I don't accept.
Venezuela is a major source, and the reason why is the following. And I've seen a lot of this reporting, and it's fake reporting, and I'll tell you why. It says that somehow Venezuela is not involved in the drug trade because the UN says they're not involved in the drug. I don't care what the UN says. The UN doesn't know what they're talking about. Maduro is indicted by a grand jury in the Southern District of New York. That means the Southern District of New York presented the evidence to a grand jury, and a grand jury indicted him. And then a superseding indictment came out that was unsealed about a year and a half ago that specifically detailed Maduro's actions. So number one, let there be no doubt, Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice. You're wrong in your question. Number one, Venezuela is a major source, and the reason why is the following. And I've seen a lot of this reporting, and it's fake reporting, and I'll tell you why. It says that somehow Venezuela is not involved in the drug trade because the UN.
I don't accept invasions. I don't accept missiles. I don't accept murders. I accept intelligence. Come here and talk with intelligence, and we receive them and talk from you to you and with real figures, not as lies. Stop deceiving yourself about the Colombian political mafias because they condemned us to 700,000 deaths to be the most unequal country in the world. Don't threaten me. I'll wait here if you want. I don't accept invasions. I don't accept missiles. I don't accept murders. I accept intelligence. Come here and talk with intelligence, and we receive them and talk from you to you and with real figures, not as lies. Stop deceiving yourself about the Colombian political mafias because they condemned us.
Forget about that guy.
Yeah, he's done.
Don't buy stock in his company.
He's done.
What else do we have? Yeah, and of course, you've got the freaking dumbasses that are going to protest it.
I know. They're paid protesters. They get activated. That's what happens. They just get out there, get your signs. You got all the same signs, they're all yellow signs.
Yeah, here are the retards in DC.
You got your chant and a little chant. Oh, Venezuela, hands off, Venezuela. Yeah,
they have no idea what the hell they're protesting.
A bunch of cheerleaders. That's all.
Here are more of them that I think confronted protesters, actually clashing protesters in New York. Let's see.
Venezuela, yo, we are Venezuela. You are for my country. What part of Venezuela you are? 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 You are not for my country.
What just what you say how? Look at the big guy with the muzzle.
¡Ay, turno de bicho! ¡Hijo de puta! ¡Perra! ¡Nigger!
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember this video. It got pretty freaking gross. I mean, you can say that stuff on Rumble, but right now we're on Facebook and YouTube and X also. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and X, please jump over to Rumble. Follow our channels, To The Point Podcast, TGI Now, and what's that?
He's like, you're not from our country. Don't be stupid.
Yeah,
they're calling them out. Well, they're calling them out knowing that they're paid protesters. So that's making them get aggravated. Like, you guys are out here like a bunch of idiots, like you're from Venezuela. You know nothing about our country. You're ignorant. It's your ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, but it's going to be expensive pain for these people real soon because it's not going to be pretty.
No, not at all. And like they have no idea. This is like the homosexuals that were marching to free Palestine or Iran. Like these
They're
people would
wearing,
no sooner see you dead.
Yeah.
And you're out here protesting for Maduro. Meanwhile, there's real Venezuelans who would love to go back home, but they can't. You know?
Exactly. Now they have a chance now they can have a chance to go back to home to a sovereign nation, So, I mean, but these people don't see that. They only see, remember I always say selective outrage. So they get activated right away. And they're like, all right, now go protest. They give them their little scripts. They have their little sayings, we want freedom. They just make up these stupid things. Look, the guy's saying they're getting paid. He's going, they're getting paid. They're getting paid. He's going like this. Because they're getting paid to do it. They know it. So now they're getting activated to call it out and put it out there to say, look, these people are getting paid. They know nothing about our country. They don't know what it's like to live there. They're all wearing muzzles.
I'm looking at the video over here too, and it's just like they've all got masks on.
Yeah, they all got masks on. It's just the same. It's the same type of people, and they know it. They see it now. That guy's calling it out. He's like, "This is bullshit." That guy's like, "Oh, he's got the."
That's a Venezuelan right there, though. He's the one saying, "That's my flag."
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. The other guy's trying to perpetrate that he's from the country, and he's not. It's a lie. The guy can't say where he's from. They can't have a civil conversation. Like, "Oh, I'm from here." Well, why are you protesting again for more Maduro? He needs to go. Like, they can't have a civil conversation because he knows they're not from there. He knows they're fake. It's all fake. It's fake outrage. That's all. And they're all dancing, jumping up and down, free Maduro. They have no idea what they're talking about. Now those guys are flicking them off because they're mad at them for doing what they're doing. And I don't blame them. I'd be mad too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so we can get away from the Venezuela stuff. There's going to be a lot more of that coming.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be talking tomorrow.
Yeah. Which, by the way, let's plug that real quick before we move on to the next news. TGI Now podcast on Tuesdays at 8:15.
8:15. Yeah, we usually run about 15 minutes behind on 8 after 8. So we usually just do 8:15 to be on the safe side.
And you guys go for about an hour, and you're on all the major platforms.
Yep. About an hour, and then we'll be at Filthy's in Vero Beach. Around 6 to 9 for the Conspiracy Club 101 for our next one. I'm going to put out an invite on Facebook on that, and then invite people to come.
Yep, and we can do virtual too. So if you're not close by and you want to come on and you want to talk about something, shoot me a message, and we can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, and then if you're local to us, the Board Report, which is our local news, will be on Friday. I'm pretty sure we've got somebody on Friday at 7 p.m.
She's got somebody, I think.
Yeah, Joanne Binford of Binford Chronicles hosts that show with IRC Media, so I look forward to that. So, all right, and then let's go to the other news. Let me actually, since Dale's watching, I want to make him proud, and he can send the message that we are promoting Warrior Shield Foundation, which is coming up in September on the weekend after September 11th, and it's an awesome event. I had a blast this past September, and I got to meet Dale and Jim. We did some podcasts together, and I've got a great idea to do this year coming up, and whatnot. So hopefully I can bring more of you guys with me and we can experience it together. But here's the latest ad I have for them. If there's a new one, Dale, shoot me a text and let me know.
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org, because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.
Yeah, Warrior Shield, it was great. They do great things. I'm looking forward to this coming September. Yep. Thank you, Miss Leslie, for putting that in the comments section. It's usually in our description, but I think our AI agent is dropping the ball on some of that stuff. All right. So in other news, Tampon Tim's pulling out. He's had enough of the spotlight, as if he wasn't embarrassed enough being Kamala Harris's running mate or whatever you want. I think
Coach. They called him Coach. Coach.
Yeah.
It's Coach. Coach.
It's horrible. I follow, well, I'm sure all of us follow. He's local to us, kind of. I know he comes to town. But Nick Sator, he is all over the frickin' place. I don't know who funds him, but thank God for guys like Nick Sator and Nick Shirley and, the guys doing the stuff like Tim Pool used to do, like literally man on the street stuff. But this is Nick Sator in Minnesota. After what Nick Shirley exposed, Nick Sator has been making frequent visits to the governor's mansion.
Oh, no.
Here's
Go to governor's mansion. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. Trump rally music blasting in the background as all eyes are on the chimney of the Minnesota governor's mansion, awaiting for the smoke to rise, which means that a new retard has been selected. Tim Walsh, expected to drop out of the gubernatorial race after the expose of, him being in bed with all the Somalis out here. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll be out here all day.
I think it's
good morning from outside
we gotta get that guy.
Mansion.
I hope, man,
in the morning.
he is
Trump
such
rally music
an
blasting in the
up-and-coming
background as
freaking
all
rock
eyes
star
are on
when it comes
the
to
chimney of the Minnesota governor's mansion.
when it comes to like
awaiting for
independent
the
media
smoke
right
to
now, and he's doing such great work. I know he comes to town like once a month. I wouldn't mind getting him here on the back porch or even virtually.
That would be awesome. Anywhere. Get him on all the shows, or even the conspiracy show.
I'm gonna reach out because we can use his help. That's for sure.
Yeah, he would be awesome. I love him. He's great.
Yeah. So here is actually Tampon Tim pulling out.
Nice.
Your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors. So this is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white.
Hey,
That's
up,
never happened
Money?
once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors. So this is what happens
So he's
when your
still
own
not
federal
going to take
government
any
wages war
ownership
against
for
you.
any of that.
This is what happens when
He's
they
just going
target
to act like
communities for
I
their
know
own
it's
benefit.
replayed.
This is what
He's just
happens
going
when
to
they
act like
scapegoat.
it's
And this is what happens when they no
nothing's
longer
going on.
hide the idea.
Out of St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tim Walz will not seek re-election as governor, and what a fall from grace this has been.
What
for him.
grace, though?
You might recall, in the spring of 2023, he pushed through several progressive ideas to the state legislature that caught the attention of Barack Obama, who went to Twitter to give his endorsement for the programs, which eventually caught the attention of people like Kamala Harris, who chose him to be her running mate as the vice president. Introduced in Chicago at the convention in August of last year, a debate that was an absolute disaster with J.D. Vance. At one point called himself a knucklehead.
I called it
But
when they put him in front and center as vice
reportedly
president.
billions
I knew
of
it. I was
dollars.
like, this guy's a fraud. This guy's bad news. I knew there was some kind of scandal going to just destroy that guy. I knew it because nobody would have knew who the hell he was if he didn't run for vice president. Nobody would even know who he is. That Satoro kid wouldn't be sitting out in front of his friggin' mansion right now doing all that. They wouldn't know who he was. They would have no idea. It would just get swept under the rug. Oh, he's not running for re-election, and that would have been it. Nobody would have known who he was. It was all a setup. I knew it. That's funny. Wow.
That's weird. Our ticker up there is supposed to be dark themed. But
at the top.
Yeah, but anyways, I do want to shout out to B Money. If you're into the finances, which I know you are, John, he does a pretty informative show. I'm having troubles putting the Rumble comments up on the whole stream. It's our first time actually using Rumble Studio through the channel, so don't mind us. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. It's kind of driving me crazy.
Right. We got to see. You got to take a shot. So,
Yeah, I do appreciate Miss Leslie, Dale, and B Money for dropping in. They all do stuff. Make sure you catch Miss Leslie tonight on the Whiskey Capitalist podcast at 8 p.m. And B Money, if you're in there, what time do you go live at a certain time? And are you just on Rumble? Which, if you're not watching on Rumble, again, download the app. It's free. Follow us. Follow your favorite creators on Rumble because you never know when YouTube just drops out, or won't put your stuff out there anymore. So Rumble's a great platform, but it's got a lot of work to do. So I get it. It's another video platform, but it's not going to hurt you to download it and follow your favorite people. Right, Miss Leslie, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. What else do we have? I don't really have anything else. I mean, I know there's plenty of news like the attempted assassination of J.D. Vance. He just wasn't home. But the dude that was beating holes in the window in the early morning.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, he's not even home, and they're like, if you're going to assassinate somebody, you pretty much know usually where he's at.
Yeah, but how did the kid get that close? Even though they weren't home, this is like J.D. Vance, and
it doesn't make any sense.
Even when they're not even in the same time zone, they shouldn't be able to get to that close. It's crazy.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, there's something fishy about that one.
But anyways, about silver. Tell me about the silver thing, because I don't know. Oh my God,
What happened?
Leslie knows what to say. You can't see them, I don't think, on your end.
Yeah, I can't see him. No, I can't see it. Yeah.
But Leslie had to bring up Sydney Sweeney's boobs. I took Elisa to the movies last night, right? She loves reading. Elisa loves reading, and she wanted to see this movie. It was about the book she read, and it was only in theaters for another week or two, and it was a Housemaid. It sounded to me like Elisa's into the thriller, gory stuff, and like I don't really care. Even going, I don't like giving the movie theaters my money, anyways. But I figured, what the hell, she deserves it. So we went to see this movie, and beforehand, like I was dreading it for the whole week, kinda. I don't tell Lisa, and I actually looked up the movie the day we were going because I forgot the name, and I looked up the movie and I saw Sydney Sweeney was in it, and I was like, all right, well, I didn't even know she acted, to be honest with you, besides a Blue Jean commercial. So I was like, maybe this won't be so bad, and it really wasn't a bad movie. I mean, the storyline was kind of a little mental, and she got naked, so that was a plus. And you know, that made that kind of made the highlight of the movie. But it actually wasn't that bad of a movie. I don't know if I would read the book, but
yeah, that's funny.
It was pretty good. I didn't even know she could act. I still don't know if she could act, to be honest.
Maybe it might have been AI. Who knows? You can't tell anymore.
There was a couple of I forget the other woman's name. You would know her if you've seen her. I don't know if you would recognize the name, but there was a couple other good actors. But Sydney Sweeney definitely was the star of that one, I would say. So much, I think Jim is actually going to try to take his wife back to see the movie.
Nice.
You guys are one coup, but other than that, I thank you guys, Leslie, B Money, Dale, for dropping in, leaving comments, because on Rumble, if we do want to qualify, we got to put the work through Rumble Studio, and I hate it. I wish we would make it a little easier to use and less quirky, but we'll try. And if I have to, I just will premiere video or something like that. But you got anything to say, John?
Not too much. Just if any local, come on down to Filthy's and check out the Conspiracy Club 101, and hopefully we'll get some guests to come on too. We have Jordan Clark, who maybe he'll come over into town and come and check it out. So it'd be kind of cool. So we'll see what happens with that, and then just get your silver. If you can get silver, I mean, that's what I would suggest right now. I mean, I've been telling that for people for the last 5 years. So, things are going to change in the financial system pretty soon. So, and that's a big part of what's going on with all these countries in South America, is that their currency is going to start to change. And, silver and gold and precious metals and mining and oil and resources are going to back people's currency to bring them to a new value where everybody's on an even playing field. So you can get the new, be on the new currency by acquiring some silver.
Yeah, that little black box is supposed to show pinned messages, and I don't think it's working.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's up there, but it doesn't show the messages.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, forget that.
So just check us out tomorrow night if you guys are listening now. Check us out tomorrow night, TGI Now, 8:15 p.m. We go live. I'm sure we'll be talking about Venezuela and stuff like that, unless something pops off today or tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. It's one thing after another.
Yeah. You can also look forward to some Gun Stuff TV coming to IRC Media. Also look forward to that, and for whatever we get into next.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here. Thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping in and dropping your comments. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again on Thursday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Ain't afraid to shout, make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise, fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate, lips BS ain't gonna see breaking the mold. Speak your mind,